GrumpaDwarf at your service. Dragon!
In Joshua 14, Caleb came to speak to Joshua. Caleb and Joshua had been the 2 spies out of the 12 who brought a good report when they spied out the land in the days of Moses. Because of that, God promised that Caleb and Joshua would still be alive to inherit the land. So as Caleb spoke to Joshua, he reminded him of that promise. And then he asked a request of Joshua that could easily be misunderstood if we do not study it and think it through. Joshua 14:12. Now therefore give me this mountain, whereof the Lord spake in that day. For thou heardest in that day how the Anakims were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If so be the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said. When Caleb said, give me this mountain, we could almost immediately jump to a faulty conclusion that he wanted to be rewarded with a prime piece of property simply because he had obeyed. But if you read the rest of the verse, you will notice that he mentioned that the mountain contained huge enemies and cities that would be very hard to be taken. In other words, at 85 years old, Caleb was not asking for easy street. He was asking to be allowed to fight the hardest battles available. Do make up your mind not to lay down your sword and die too early. If you have breath in your body, you can still be a spiritual warrior for the Lord. If he intended for you to be done fighting as a soldier for Christ, he would have already called you home.
The promised seed prophets claimed would spring up in Bethlehem. In spite of Satan, this root came forth from dry ground. God had said he must die, then proclaimed he would rise. Death nor hell could ever hold redemption down. And if Christ be not raised, then our faith is in vain. But he did, I know he did. Bound by sin, man had cried, but on that third day justified. The world said this man would not